Hello and welcome to Washington, D.C. Today we're going to be doing some car spotting here. We're right now in the Kalorama neighborhood just back of Embassy Row, which is home of meaning there's multiple, but a home of Jeff Bezos, Obama, Ivanka Trump. As you can see right there, we got U.S. Secret Service. This neighborhood is always crawling with them, which makes sense. Starting off strong here. A very nice spec in this G-Wagon. These monoblocks have been a really popular upgrade on a lot of these nicer Benzes since they came out like 4 years ago, I think. Good looking car. It's been nice seeing these new GX 550s on the road. They did a really good job with this new generation and whole redesign. This thing's solid. Porsche Cayenne Turbo. I think these were like 150, 160, maybe like 170 when they're new. I think the new ones might be even more expensive, but I've always liked them. There's a nice Range Rover Sport autobiography with diplomat plates. Right here we have the Omani Embassy. Very, very nice looking building. And I've always liked their flag. Definitely a good looking flag they got there. Can't wait to visit Oman someday. I've noticed a surprising number of taxis in this neighborhood just parked, which I thought was kind of odd. And this one stood out to me because this is so obviously a former cop car. So the lights are supposed to go there and they've been decommissioned, but they also left these ones, which, who knows, might be red blue just disconnected. Of course, like any standard wealthy neighborhood, there's tons of Range Rovers. Crazy how expensive these things have gotten. I think they're like, what, 110 starting? We've got here one of the baby AMGs, one of the GLC 43s or something. And then one of my least favorite Mercedes ever made, beaten only really by the SUV version, which I think is far worse. I'm quite excited here. I've spotted truly one of my favorite cars ever made. The first generation Honda Insight. And how much of a fan am I? I'm so much of a fan that I used to own one. And this one is owned by a super cool guy who put a V12 badge on the side. Just like mine. Mine was identical to this. Love that car. We got a nice Audi household here. Audi Allroad, Audi SQ5, and an Audi S4. I see another Chevy Suburban with diplomat plates. Time to play my favorite game in this neighborhood. Is it armored? Looking at this one, I would say no. This one, also, this is a Tahoe, but also no. So real question, does anybody find the BMW iX not fugly? Let's see. Plymouth Deluxe. Gorgeous car. This here is the Embassy of Myanmar. You can usually just find the most interesting stuff at these places by just looking for what has the most surveillance and security. And this one is no different. So if my extremely short bit of research is to be believed, these 2 or 3 properties all combined is actually owned by Jeff Bezos. The picture actually looked a little bit different because these shutters here have been painted black since the pictures were taken in the article. But yeah, pretty wealthy owner, I'd say. A sign that you're in a truly wealthy neighborhood is also actual gas lights outside. And right across the street from Bezos' house is the Pakistani and Mauritanian embassies. I think it's now time to check out some of the core of the actual embassy row. We've got a very nice old school diplomat vehicle right there with the long wheelbase town car. And right here is, I think, maybe a M340i or 5 Series at the Croatian embassy. I always find it truly fascinating here when looking for embassies, just seeing which countries have big embassies, which ones have small ones, and where they're located. There's no real rhyme or reason. Probably the most common diplomat vehicle I've seen, though, other than Suburbans, actually probably ahead of Suburbans, is minivans, either the Odyssey or Siennas. Not a wildly remarkable vehicle, but I've always liked these base E36s, and this one's a manual too, which is a nice bonus. I'm not sure about this car. It looks like a Toyota Matrix, but I kind of think this is a foreign version of it. It doesn't look quite right, especially the headlights. And of course, with diplomat plates, that's a very real possibility. I could definitely see these Jeep Cherokees be future classics. I know they're pretty cheap right now, but I could only see these go up, maybe not immediately, but at some point. That boxy design I feel like is going to age super well and be super in demand at some point. Well, I never pass up an opportunity to admire a 200 Series Land Cruiser, and this is definitely a nice one. Looks like it's had some better days, unfortunately, with the back, but other than that, damn nice car. got here the Thai embassy, which I must say is quite grand. This is definitely what I feel like embassies should look like. This here is a nice C30. I've always loved that back glass hatch on these things. Part of, I think, why I like the Toyota Aygo, because it has the same exact thing. This is a good looking Focus ST. I think this color always looked very good on these. And I always thought their exhaust pipe was especially nice. Got another solid spotting here. 911. This is a nice one with the down badging, I don't know if you'd call it down badging, but the just going with 911 instead of the exact model name, which I'm a big fan of. Red and black looks good on these too. Very clean S580. Kind of a perfect car for this neighborhood. Look out these trash cans. That is amazing. We got some kind of federal government or federal police van behind me. Not sure what they're doing back there. Whenever I come to these interesting neighborhoods, I always wish I had X-ray vision so I could look into all these garages and see what kind of interesting stuff is behind there. Got two interesting cars here. Got this Cayman with the bumper guard, shows that it's a true city vehicle. Unfortunately, that does cover the license plate, which I'm sure is a great way to get pulled over. Also, looks like it's a manual. And then the Cadillac CTS wagon. Always like these things. Obviously, best if they're a CTS V-Wagon, but, you know, we can help. That there is a beautiful driveway. Not the biggest, but that is goals right there. Very, very clean S-Class right here. And this one is a pre-09, I think, because the headlights don't have the LED strip in the bottom. I like that green, though. This Corolla is in very nice shape. Super clean. Well, I'm not sure what the deal is with the logo being upside down. And it's manual. Damn. I should buy this thing. You know, I think I made a mistake coming down this street because somebody is cooking right now and it smells fantastic. And now I want to go home and get some food. But first, I'll show you this nice, I think it's an AMG. It's definitely an SL. Very classically Mercedes spec. Oh, just a base SL500, but looks fabulous. Defender's clearly been sitting here for at least a little bit, given how rusty those brakes are. But they have a nice GLS 63 AMG out front. This here is the huge and very impressive Turkish embassy. But I do think they have some other properties in this area. The cops have sidecars. That's a rare sighting. Just off of all the fancy stuff is a huge pile of trash here. I don't know what that's about. This here is one of the locations for the Venezuelan embassy. Another very grand property for sure. I've often thought that a perfect match for being a car guy is actually being a diplomat. You know, obviously you can get your country in trouble if you abuse it, but diplomatic immunity is pretty impressive. You can essentially speed and do whatever the hell you like, and in fact, the North Korean government makes most of its money from basically doing drug smuggling, using diplomatic immunity to protect them. There goes that GLS 63 from earlier. The trend, of course, continues. Diplomats, they love their black minivans. They really do. This is certainly not what I was expecting to do some spotting of, but this FedEx truck is quite an interesting machine. It's very much obviously trying to keep up with the Rivian Amazon truck. I don't recognize the company though. It's like somewhere in between being the most ugly thing and actually a pretty nice looking vehicle. It says on the side Bright Drop, which is got to be the worst vehicle name I might have ever heard. Got another nice Porsche. This is a Boxster S. That's more like it. This would be the best spot so far, I'd say. Gorgeous Ferrari California T. Very nice. And this is a D badge, so I don't know exactly what type it is, but if I were to guess, it's probably like a Cayenne Turbo or something like that. No, you never really know. They do all look basically the same. Alrighty, well that wraps up the video. Thank you guys so much for joining me. If you'd like me to do this again, just let me know in the comments. I will gladly come back here. And I'm also thinking of doing more of a general DC car spotting video, so stay tuned for that. If you like this stuff, make sure to subscribe. It matters way more than you might think. And if you like these car spotting videos, I'll link some ones down below. I've done Andorra, San Marino, Monaco. There's some fun ones, so make sure to check those out. Anyways, thank you guys, and I'll see you in the next video.